Hi, everyone. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of Doing More. Today, we have Fennemore's Chief Enterprise Officer, Dean Seiveno, here with us. Dean, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
You know, the Doing More initiative is all about how we're helping our employees, our clients, and the communities that we serve with finding new opportunities, providing some new tips, some, different things that they can implement within their businesses. So as we're looking to celebrate National Clean Out Your Computer Day, we thought who better to introduce and bring on stage than Mr. Dean Seiveno. So Dean, we're really looking forward to hearing your insight on this specific topic.
Oh, Lindsay, thank you. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it. Keeping organized is very important.
Well, this topic really hits home for me because I'm not going to lie, my computer is not necessarily the most tidy place. So I'm sure you have some winning strategies that you can share with us about how to keep things organized on our desktop and in our, technology space.
I do, absolutely. It's funny, having done this for a number of years, I'm always fascinated at how people can't take the organization skills of a paper file or read well and separating out papers onto different backers so that they stayed organized and transition that onto the computer. And so a lot of computers that I go to, I look at and I'm like, how do you even function? There's 100 icons on the desktop and there's no organization, and the names of the files are cryptic. And I'm like, no wonder you can't find something or you're struggling. So it is very important. And, they've got National, Clean Out Your Computer Day, and that's great. And, it's great time to focus on that. My winning strategy is do it all the time. Do the organization up front so that you don't have so much work to do at, whatever interval you want, whether it's yearly or weekly or daily. Just organize up front so that the things that you want to find are easy to find, and you name them correctly, so you don't have to work so hard. That's the goal, not having to work so hard.
All right. Well, hopefully now that everybody's hearing this episode, they'll remember, okay, maybe I need to do it a couple of times a year. So curious, how do you work this into your workflow with helping to stay organized?
It just goes back to what I was just saying. So if I'm going to save something, let's say it's to my desktop or my documents folder, there's an organization scheme, just like I would take a Redwell and put a label on it and say this is this type or category of file. I do the same thing electronically. I'll create a folder and say this is the things that I want to place in that folder, and then I'll place them in there. But rather than just kind of saving it with a name that doesn't make sense, I usually try to name them something so that it's easy for me to find. So I do it up front. I try not to have I call it a tornado on your desktop, where something just came through and threw a bunch of stuff on there, and you're afraid to get rid of it because you don't know what that was or how long you should keep it or why it was there to begin with. Name it something so that it's readily apparent to you what it is, how important it was, when it was saved there, and how long you should keep it.
My other question for you is, what about all those other applications or some of those other platforms that are listed on our computer? How often should we be doing updates on those, and or how often should we be deleting those ones that we're maybe not using?
Oh, this is, if I could say anything, that once a year you should take the time on all of your devices, whether it be your smartphone, computer, any of the devices that you have. You should go through and look at and evaluate whether or not you use that application anymore. And if you don't, delete it, get rid of it, organize it, put them into the folders that they need to be. On your iOS devices, you can create containers and move like applications in to those folders. So I would do that all the time. And you bring up a really good point and something near and dear to my heart, and that's application security. People are not very good in my experience with keeping updated on the applications, the security updates, not just the Microsoft operating system, but applications. There's so much information out there about application providers and their applications being compromised because people don't keep their updates on security for those applications up to date. So that should be something. Security is something you should be doing all the time and be thinking about. And if there's a pop-up that says you should update to the next version, you should really think about doing that and staying current. It not only affects security, but it also affects your performance and stability of your computer as well.
Dean, I know you are the chief of automation. You love to find great ways to keep things automated and to streamline processes. So, is there or are there tools out there that can help you with automating cleaning up your desktop?
There are lots of tools out there. I personally use a Mac at home, and so there I have a little application called Hazel that schedules and goes through and cleans up, uh, downloads from the internet and temporary files for installations and things that I put into a temporary folder like scans and stuff like that. I only need them for a short period of time, so every 7 days it automatically cleans them out for me. So I don't have to think about, oh, why is that file there? It just automatically goes into that folder, and I know after 7 days it gets deleted. So these are the things that I was talking about. If I think about doing this up front, I can stay organized all the time. So there's an application called Hazel for Macs. There's several out there for Microsoft Windows. In our environment, we do a lot of that for you. We have processes in place that go through and clean stuff out without cleaning out too much. I know people get very nervous about what we can do on the system side. But I promise we don't delete all of your files. We let you do that, but there are certain things that we do clean up in the background to keep your computer running smoothly.
I know we're running out of time, but one other key thing I really wanted to ask your advice on is how do we clean up our emails?
Oh, emails. This is something that I struggle with as well. There's various strategies, and I think it really depends on your personality. There are some people that take a little bit of time at the end of each day and go through and organize and kind of keep their email below 20 or 30. I admire those people. I get so many emails during the day that there's no possible way that I can do that. So I'll take time, at the end or beginning of each day before the workday gets started. A lot of times I'll wait until the end of the month, depending on all of the chaos that's going on during the month to try and do that. Again, folders is a good way of organizing yourself as well, making sure that you put that in there. And in our environment, we have the send in file. So we have iManage where we can save emails and look for them later. And it's really important. It's not just for you, right? There are things that I do that affect other people. And so if I save those important things into folders, into iManage, so someone else can benefit or see that information later, that just makes my job easier. I don't have everybody knocking on my door going, Dean, where's that email or where's that information? I don't have to do that. I can say, go to iManage, it's in the folder where it should be, and you should be doing this as well. So I say that with a smile because I want everybody to be doing this so that we all help each other out.
So many great tips and winning strategies in there. So hopefully, as you look to celebrate, clean out your computer day, now you know some ideas that you can look to implement that day and or maybe every day in order to help keep your life a little bit more organized.
Absolutely. Lindsay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Dean, thanks for being here.
You bet.